Good afternoon. Welcome to my garden. I'm Joan Unger with the Taste of Tewksbury. And today we are going to have some summer salads for your enjoyment and also some summer cocktails. And we have some wonderful chefs to do this. And I am first going to introduce Donna Gill, who is also our producer. She's our executive producer. And I'm going to ask her to tell you a little bit about herself.
Oh, okay. I will do that. I'm a Wilmington girl. Ooh, don't blame me. But that's where my folks decided to bring us all up. Graduated Wilmington High School. My first job was a dental assistant. Traveled all the way into Boston, big Boston from Wilmington. It was very exciting. I learned a lot at the dentist's office, and I learned a lot about life going into Boston like that. Then Joe came along, Joe Gill, my husband. We got married. 6 months later, he's drafted, and we went through all of that crisis. Well, he was in Vietnam, but we got through it. We got through it pretty good. Then we settled here in Tewksbury back in the early 70s, and we've been here ever since. Brian and Amy, our children, have gone to all the Tewksbury schools, graduated Tewksbury High School, and they're doing very well. We're so proud of them, along with our 4 grandchildren. Joe, both of us became very involved in the town, especially through the schools at first. With 2 kids in school, we wanted to be there for them and know what was going on all the time. That led to a little bit more political positions for Joe, finance committee, several other committees in the town. And then he was convinced to run for selectman in town, which he did in 1975. Through 2007 is when he decided to step down. That takes care of Joe in the town.
Okay, and you're very involved in many boards in the town.
Well,
the library,
you know, when you live with a politician, you have to kind of go with the flow as it is. And so rather than fight it, I decided to go along with them and become very active in the town.
You've been very, very helpful with our show.
Well,
very helpful. You've been wonderful.
A friend sat me down one day and said, you know, could you?
I was kneeling, begging.
Oh, well. And I said, sure, let's try it and see how we do. And is my hat on straight? Is it okay?
It was fine, yeah.
It looks fine.
And we were great to have such great people, the media department, to work with us. Brian and Courtney and Jason's not here today, but they're super guys. Yeah, that's the truth.
Nobody should ever be afraid to go in front of the camera with these people involved. They are just super. They talk you through it. They get you through it, and
they tell you you're great, even though you know you're not.
Well, that's all right. That's okay too. That's all right too.
So you want to get started?
Yeah, let's get with this watermelon salad. I just, one of those Facebook pages pops up. Click it, and you go, wow, that sounds interesting. So that's where this all started from. Sorry, I forgot at home the pieces of watermelon that I wanted to demonstrate cutting up, but that's okay. We have the watermelon. The recipe calls for 12 cups, but I'm not completely, that's a lot of watermelon, as you'll see. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I cut it all up. I cut it into a colander, so I let it set and drain on its own so it's not too wet. Now all I'm going to do is just take an onion, red onion. I'm going to just slice it.
Do you want a cutting board? Oh, you have.
I have one. There's a cutting board down here. She thinks I'm cutting her tablecloth. I'll cut my fingers before I cut her tablecloth. And that looks like about enough. I'm not going to do a whole one. It says, like I said, it says 12 cups of watermelon cut into 1-inch cubes. It does say a half of red onion sliced. Everybody has their own take on what a cubed watermelon looks like. Some are big, some are smaller, and the same way with the onions. Depending on if you're an onion lover, you can put more or less. It calls for a half a cup, and that's what's in the recipe, but we will, and I did wash my hands, Joan, I promise.
Yeah, right.
I did. Okay. We'll just put that many in there for now. That's good. That looks very good. Okay. Now we're just going to make the dressing. Another really simple one. We're just going to take 1/4 cup of extra virgin oil. Sorry. Goes right in here. And then we're going to take the limes, which I just got a good instructions on how to do this from our bartender that you'll see next, because she's used to squeezing limes.
And those are great. It's for making margaritas and squeezing the lime. Those.
Okay. Now I'm just going to add a little bit of salt. Salt, again, is by preference, whatever you think you like. If you like it a little salty, a little less.
Because the feta cheese is going to be kind of salty.
The feta cheese
yeah.
is salty,
Yeah.
so that's coming up at the end, yep. So we'll just put,
I have my mask right here, but
I have mine in my pocket.
yeah, but I can't really talk
Okay,
so
now
much.
we'll just whisk this up a little bit. See, the bugs are coming already. Just going to let that sit just for a little bit. And the thing that really brings this all together is mint. I usually have fresh mint at home. I do not have it this year. I did not plant it this year. This has all been
Wow, it uses a
pre-washed.
lot of mint.
Well, it calls for...
Nice. Nice.
What does it
yeah.
call for?
A cup.
A cup.
Yeah, that's nice.
Again, some people like mint, some people don't. I did try it with peppermint, but I really didn't like it.
I wouldn't either. Jim would like that because he likes
Yeah.
peppermint. But
So we just chop, coarsely chop. It doesn't have to be any particular size or anything like that. Okay. Again, I'm just going to sprinkle that all on the top, like so. Bring that here.
this is really looking delicious, Donna.
And a lot of this can be done, earlier.
Yeah.
And but I wanted to give a little bit of demonstration. So we do that, and then we make the dressing. We whisked it, let it set a little bit, and we're just going to pour this all over.
That looks so good.
And like I say, the onions can be finer, they can be thinner, whatever is your preference.
And you can add
now there's
some different things to it too. can't
Many
you?
different
like
things.
cucumbers, maybe. I think I saw a recipe with
Yeah,
cucumbers.
you can add
yeah.
cucumbers, you can add avocados to it, you can do so many different things you can be
That
added
was
to this.
really good.
This
That
would
was
be
really-
the basic,
Yeah.
the
And
basic.
if it sits a little bit, it even marinates. If you put it in the refrigerator and covered it
Right.
for like 30 minutes, it would
Exactly.
give it even more. The mint flavor would get in there. and,
Exactly.
yeah, it would-
The only thing I wouldn't do is add the feta to it at that time. The feta should go on at the end.
okay.
Now we can do one of two things, Joan. We can pretend this is the end, or we can wait. It's your call.
No, whatever you. You're the
Okay.
cook. You're the cook. Whatever you want to do. It's fine.
Okay. This is just, I bought the, sorry, I forget where I am. This is just, it's not the packaged feta cheese, although it's very good to use the package. It's already crumbled up. You find it.
Well, what is this? This is a
Well,
cube.
This is a fresh,
That's even going to be more tasty.
yeah. This
Yes.
adds a little
Yeah.
bit more zing
Yeah.
to it. It's very tasty, yes. So all I'm going to do is just put it right here. I'm sorry it's not coming out as cubed as I want. The weather out here is a little bit
Yeah.
hot for...
Well, I can't control that. Okay?
No,
just
you
like
can't.
the bees and.
You can't,
can't,
yes.
I have no
Again,
control of it,
the size of things is very how you want it.
Yep.
That's all. It's just how you want it.
If you want it more crumbled, you buy the crumbled one.
Exactly.
But this is going to be more
exactly.
tasty.
Yep. And I think that's how we do it. You can also take some more sprigs of real, fuller sprigs of mint, just put it right on there. You know, the bigger pieces, it just gives it a little bit more decoration, that's all.
You know, I'm noticing what's coming up next in the ingredients. I can't wait. The watermelon slushy.
Yes, we have something very special to go along with this.
Oopsie daisy.
I'm going to move this. I'm going to put this out here. We have that there.
And if the bees start coming around,
We'll cover it
right?
up.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes. But I think you're right. I'm ready for the.
For the slushy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to introduce Erin Kneff. We're very lucky to have her. She's on loan from Angelina's restaurant in Tewksbury. And she used to work as a radio producer. Then she stayed home for 12 years with her 3 children. Then she decided she wanted to go back to work. She loves people and she wanted something fun. Now you can find Erin behind the bar mixing fancy cocktails and posting them on Facebook at Angelina's restaurant in Tewksbury.
Well, thank you. I'm so happy to be here. This is like a dream come true to be hanging out with you two. Two of my favorites.
We're happy to have you.
Yes,
Two of
we
my
are too.
favorites. So, all right. So you made the watermelon salad, which I really can't wait to have a bite of because I was kind of over there watching you make it, and I love that. So what I'm making today for this salad is what we call a flybird watermelon margarita. So flybird is actually a wine that came out. It's margarita wine, but it's made with agave, which is the plant they use to make tequila. So this actually has a really high alcohol volume. So sip slowly.
Oh.
Sip slowly. So what I did with it was I just took it and I thought, well, what can we do to make it even better than just, I mean, you could literally have this just by the glass. And it also comes in strawberry. So you could
Okay.
pour it over ice and have it
I
just
may
by
have
the
to
glass.
leave and make a
right?
run down, down to my favorite
So,
liquor
but
store
I
down the
decided
street.
to do it in a frozen version. So I'm going to take this ice, which will take me forever if I do it like that. So I'm actually going to pull this, because usually I have like a big ice scoop at work. So if some of it gets on the ground, we'll have to just live with it. Or my hands are clean, so I'm just going to use my hands here, because it's kind of all stuck together. So you take some ice. All right, so you take the ice. And then I take the wine, and I know you were looking for measurements. You're so cute. I
Well-
measure nothing. I'm horrible.
When I want to make this, and our friends that are watching it may
Right.
want to make it, so let's.
But you're going to do it really to your taste. So I would say
That
it's
would
a
be to
good
my
6
taste.
to 8
Yeah,
ounces of
okay.
wine, right?
Okay.
And then I make fresh puree. So I basically take a watermelon and puree it. So I did this all ahead of time. I did this last night. Leave it all in the fridge. So
That
you're
looks
gonna
like a
put-
half cup.
So I would
think?
say probably like a quarter.
Quarter cup. I would
Right?
say.
So, and I don't know, like
cup.
our ice is a little bit smaller and this ice is a little melted on us, so. And then this is watermelon pucker. So it's just a liquor, it's got a nice
Can I
taste
just
to
smell
it.
it?
You can smell it, it smells like super, right? You wanna smell that? Right, so yummy. So I usually put like a splash of that in there.
That's a
My
what do you think,
splash
quarter
is,
cup maybe.
my splash may be a
Splash.
little bit more splashy.
Big
than
splash,
other
big
people's.
splash.
A big splash, okay? So then we're gonna take it and it'll get a little loud here now.
And this is called that machine.
Oh, well, this is my NutriBullet from home, but we use like a Magic Bullet or a professional blender at work. So normally at work, because this ice is a little bit melted, this would be a little bit thicker. But then you just pour it in your margarita glass, and now you can rim the glass with sugar or salt or whatever you like. And then I usually take
Oh,
my
how pretty
my
is
little
that?
watermelon
Yeah.
on
Oh,
my
that's
fancy
pretty.
stick
Yeah, that's so pretty.
and a nice straw.
Nice.
And there you go. Yeah. So there you go. So that's it. It's really simple, really fast,
Good.
but really tasty.
Do you want to tell us anything else about yourself? You're involved in a lot of things in the community.
I think people know more than they need to know about me as it is.
But I would say you're an activist in the
Yes.
community.
A little bit. Yeah, I would
You
say
were-
that a little
you
bit.
were
You
on
don't
the
just
school
sit
committee?
back and do nothing.
No,
Oh, no,
I'm
no,
on. I've
no.
been on several committees. I've
Yep.
been on a committee with you.
Yes, she was on this committee, the Cable Access
right,
Committee.
we brought cable
Yes.
to Tewksbury.
My gosh, she
Right,
was a
right.
big part of it.
So we brought you. Sure, I was
Yeah.
on the Public Events and Celebrations Committee at one point.
School committee?
So no, I ran for school committee,
Okay.
but that's a whole nother show.
That's another show.
That's a whole different show. Jill.
Yeah.
But no, so now I take care of my kids and my husband, and I make drinks at Angelina's.
And you did a lot. You were very involved in a very wonderful.
Liam Nation.
Liam
Right.
Nation.
So Liam
Yeah.
Nation was named after my oldest son, who was born with Down syndrome, later diagnosed with autism. And we started a foundation to help people out, just
And you did
because
a
there's a
lot.
lot of red
Yeah.
tape involved
Yeah.
in getting the things that they need and the processes for them. And then it turned into an athletics program. And unfortunately, we don't really do that anymore because I'm just so busy now
Yeah.
with working and kids get
But you
older.
did it for a
and-
long
But we
time.
did it for a long time. And we do still have the
Yeah.
foundation, and we do still we do help people. Like this year, we provided quite a few Christmases for kids with disabilities for parents who were in need for different things.
But I also remember, Aaron, a couple of years ago, a boy, I believe in Lawrence, had, was it his wheelchair?
His bike.
His bike taken.
bike
And you
taken. It was a special bike.
provided
That was
one.
a- it was
you
a- it was
provided
a-
one. Your
We did.
group did, yeah. Yeah,
We
so you
did,
a
and
lot
we
of
have
good
done
things.
that. We have provided wheelchairs, and we did help a couple of families buy a van, an adapted
See?
van
That's-
for their
yeah,
kids.
yeah.
So we do. We,
A lot of wonderful
We
things,
still do
yeah.
some of that stuff
Yeah.
when I'm not making drinks. I'm doing that.
Well, thank you so much
You're
for
very
helping us. And you'll
welcome.
be back next
I'll be back
episode with
Yep,
Jim. You'll
with
be
Jim.
back with Jim.
Oh, that's exciting! I can't wait for that.
I want to introduce my husband, Jim Harmon. He has been such a helpmate to me through all this. And today he's going to do even more help, and he's going to make a Cobb salad that he makes for us in the summertime. It's pretty, it's healthy, it's cool, and it's delicious. And it looks pretty also. And Jim, for many years, 25 or more years, he worked for Wang until they closed. He was a senior software engineer. And then while in his retirement, he drives special needs children for the town to school. And they love Jim, and so do the mothers. He's so good with the children. And now, Jim, would you like to say something for yourself?
It's a pleasure to be on here. Unlike most guests, rather than based on my skill, I married the hostess of the show. It worked.
So do you want to get started on, do you want, and then tell the
Okay.
steps as you're doing them, please?
Okay, what I'm going to be doing today is to make a Cobb salad. And when I first heard of a Cobb salad, I was expecting those little miniature corn cobs. Has nothing to do with that. It was named after somebody whose last name was Cobb, and he made the salad. And I have added my own variations, but essentially followed what he had done in designing a Cobb salad. It's got plenty of color, and the presentation is the major part of it. What I do, I start out with a head of lettuce. I rinse it under running water for a while, let the water drain off. And I remove the outer 2 or 3 leaves because they usually aren't very crisp. They're wilted somewhat, so you take those off. And then you take a knife, and where the stem is, you cut that out. And then inside, the leaves that are white or mostly white tend to be a little bit bitter, so you pull those out. And what's left, I will use as the base for the salad. Once I have the lettuce in place, I start out by creating vertical stripes of different foods, and they add color and taste to the salad. So I'm starting out with tuna salad. You could use any kind of salad you want, ham salad, chicken salad. I made tuna salad. I used, well, there are 2 schools of thought. mayonnaise or Miracle Whip. I come from the Miracle Whip school, so tuna fish and Miracle Whip.
Another interesting tidbit about Jim, he brought up 13 children. He had 4 that he calls homegrown. He had 4 foster children and 5 that were adopted. We've only been married, it'll be 5 years in August. So we're a widow and a widower. But he had a lot of children and a lot of grandchildren too. So.
Here I'm putting cottage cheese in to balance off the tuna salad. Then we want to do green pepper. So you take some green pepper, you scrape out the inside, and then cut this into strips. That goes on this side. Next, we take either cherry tomatoes. These happen to be grape tomatoes, but just take them and cut them into little pieces, or cut them in half.
Yeah, in half.
And do a row of tomatoes down the side. You can either cut up black olives or you can buy them pre-sliced. This is one of those salads where you clean out your refrigerator. So I don't have a set list of ingredients. If I were to make this for you next week, I'd have whatever is in the refrigerator that day.
Jim, that's how it got started by Mr. Cobb. He came home late at night, he was hungry, and he'd been out for the evening, and he opened the refrigerator and he took out what was in there and he made the Cobb salad.
And next, I take a couple of hard-boiled eggs. You slice the eggs up and create a row of eggs. And last of all, I should have bacon. What I do for convenience sake is I get the pre-cooked bacon that you can buy in the grocery store. 25 seconds in the microwave, crisps it right up. And then I add bacon for spice or flavor. For decoration,
Yeah.
a final touch. These are blue cheese crumbs. And you can put them right down the middle.
Looks beautiful.
And
Yeah,
this
it's
is
very
Cobb
beautiful.
salad.
And it's easy and it's healthy and it's great on a hot summer night. Welcome back to Erin Kneff. She is going to make us a fabulous drink to complement Jim's Cobb salad.
Right.
And she will tell us the name of the drink and what goes in it.
So this one is a peach wine slushy, because I grew up having Richie slush and they were the best. And so I wanted to create something that was kind of like that, only with booze in it. So here we go. So for this wine slushy, with the same thing. So I filled the cup with ice this time, so it's all ready to go. Again, with the measurements. So the wine, which I use a Moscato because Moscato is nice and sweet. It's a really sweet wine. So this is 14 hands Moscato. We have it down at Angelina's. It's delicious. So I'm going to open that up. And I'm going to pour, again, about 6 to 8 ounces over the ice, right?
Yeah, it's up to that line right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right.
And then we have peach schnapps. Again, a nice just liqueur. Open this bottle. Smell that. Smells like fresh peaches, right? So good. So splash of that.
Maybe a half.
My splash is,
yeah, like
can be a little
third,
different. Homemade peach puree that I made from fresh peaches. Fresh peaches, a little bit of sugar, a little bit of water, and then you blend it. So you're gonna pour the peach in there. So I'd say again, maybe like,
More than
do like a half a cup.
Yeah, half, yeah.
If you were going by measurements. So again, we put the cover on our little NutriBullet here. So, cover off in the glass. There we go. Perfect pour.
Oh, that looks so pretty.
Right? So normally I would have a piece of peach, which I didn't have for today, or you could even use a slice of orange on the side of the glass. But that is a peach wine
It's
slushie.
beautiful. It's very beautiful. Thank you. These are drinks that you have.
I serve
you've kinda
these
made
all
them
day.
Up. You've made them up yourself.
Yes, a little bit.
Yeah. At
A
Angelina's,
little bit. I
yeah,
kind of,
yeah.
just sort of think about what I could do that would be
Yeah.
new, and especially right now in the summer, it's so hot, and we do have the outside seating.
Yeah.
So who wants to sit outside and drink something nice and frozen and
Yeah,
fresh? I mean, who
me.
wouldn't want to do that,
Me,
right?
me,
Right.
yeah.
Exactly. So this is how I came up with these drinks. But you want to make them simple enough so there's not too much, that goes
Yeah.
into them, so that if you're behind a bar, you can make them, relatively quick.
Well, thank you very much.
You're very
Erin.
welcome.
And thank you again to our media folks, Brian and Courtney and Jason, who's on vacation right now. And of course, my dear friend Erin Kneff from Angelina's
Yep.
and Tewksbury, and my other dear friend, get over here, and my dear husband.
So we're going to do this too. So we're going to take this off so we can
thank you,
see
thank
them
you,
all
thank you.
together,
Yeah, I'm
right?
in trouble here. Okay, thank you. Yes. Oh, well,
Right. So
this
there
is
we
the trouble
have-
with outside.
You'd have the Cobb salad
Thank
with
you.
that.
Yeah.
Although this looks more like a Harmon salad. I don't know, Jim.
Yeah, I know.
Less Cobb and more
You
Harmon.
come
I
over
think.
here too, Jim.
Right between you and Andrew.
Okay.
So there you go.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. And here's my three wonderful chefs and cocktail waitress chef person.
Yes. Thank you.
And thank you again for tuning in and watching us. And you can also see us on YouTube. But that information will be on our local cable TV channel. And for Verizon, it is channel 33. And for Comcast, it's channel 9. Got that right? No, got it wrong. Channel 8. Comcast is channel 8. All right. Thank you again, and to everybody. I hope you're all having a wonderful summer, and please stay safe. Thank you.
Thanks, Joan.
Thank you.